We've all heard of Harriet Tubman, who helped lead enslaved people to freedom through the Underground Railroad, but you've probably not heard of Silvia Hector Webber, dubbed the Harriet Tubman of Texas. This Juneteenth, an exhibit in Texas is shining a light on her story. Priscilla Thompson has more.
Along the winding Rio Grande in South Texas lies a history many of us have never heard.
To look at this river and think that so many years ago, it was the route that people used to find freedom from slavery.
Yeah, it's so close, but yet was so far for so many people. And knowing that they just had to get there.
This property, researchers say, was one of the final stops on the Underground Railroad South. Run by a formerly enslaved woman named Silvia Hector Webber, O.J. Trevino and Sofia Bravo's grandmother generations over.
The ferry used to be somewhere close to here.
The ferry that they would use
to go back and forth into Mexico.
Silvia's story, part of a family history that was largely secret until now.
It wasn't allowed for you to know that you were part of a black family. My great-grandfather was Jeremiah Marcelino, but Marcelino was his name to protect him from society that they didn't, so they wouldn't know that he was half black. Barely they accepted you as Hispanic. Can you imagine if they found out that you were black?
Understand, okay, she was formerly enslaved. They helped other people that were enslaved into freedom. It's a sense of pride knowing that you had family that did that.
Her story is now on display for the world to see at UT Austin's Briscoe Center.
These are her freedom papers.
Correct.
How significant is this?
So this is an extremely rare type of document.
Sarah Sonner curated the exhibit Freedom Papers, Evidence of Emancipation, featuring dozens of never-before-seen documents from the 1800s that reveal the high cost of freedom before the Civil War for enslaved women and children, including Silvia, who was married to a white man named John Webber.
Why center Silvia's story here?
Silvia Hector Webber was a remarkable person. We know that her home offered a place of refuge on the path to freedom via Mexico for the Underground Railroad. We also know the steep price that she and John were asked to pay to achieve the freedom for Silvia and their 3 children.
What was the cost?
They were asked to pay with the lives of 2 enslaved children.
Not one of their own children?
Not one of their own children. So in paying that, they would have perpetuated the very system that they were attempting to escape.
The Webbers never paid that bond, forfeiting their more than 800 acres of land near present-day Austin put up as collateral. In the decades after, researchers say they operated ranches along the Colorado River and Rio Grande, ferrying escapees to freedom in Mexico.
So Silvia is buried somewhere here?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. We know she's somewhere in the cemetery.
Somewhere in the cemetery.
Not sure exactly which spot.
Today, her family is focused on preserving that legacy.
As we celebrate Juneteenth and we think about freedom and what it means to be free, what do you hope people will take away or learn from Silvia's story?
An appreciation for what people had to go through to gain that freedom. There was so much more than just physical harm that was done, the emotional damage that was done, the generational damage that was done.
A reminder of the fight and the fragility of freedom.
I'm so privileged to be part of this family, or part of her family, because she was, she was an example for all of us.